are recording.
Hey, hello, test.
Hello, testing the levels.
Going?
Yes, going well. It's
Yeah.
going well, and also to the people out there in podcast land, how is it going with you? Hopefully well.
Hello. How's it
Hello.
going?
My name is Adam Ordahl Quinnell, and I'm here with.
Hey, how's it going? It's Al Hertz.
And we are Trek in the Valley. And every week we get together, most weeks, to watch some sort of Star Trek something or other. And we talk about it and we record a podcast about it. And then somehow it makes it to your fucking ears. Who would have thunk it?
Now we're doing a run of these bonus episodes that cover the movies here to get a little break between season 1 and season 2.
The Kelvin movies, as they're called.
Okay. Kelvin.
Yeah, the Kelvin. So the Kelvin timeline is the timeline before J.J. Abrams fucked everything up. The J.J. Abrams fucked everything up and sent Spock back in time, and that guy blew up Vulcan. So, like, these movies are like the Kelvin timeline. And if that's wrong and you're mad, hey, you still listened to our podcast.
There you go.
And thank you. So what we're doing with these bonus, because we're between seasons, you should go back and listen to, let's be honest, starting at episode 11 of season 1. The audio's a little dicey before that, but we get better.
Comes up.
Yeah, we get better. We had some issues with the clipping on the mics and shit, but we got it now.
Yeah, we figured it out.
But for these bonus episodes, we've been talking about these movies. A couple weeks ago, we did Star Trek: The Motion Picture, the Director's Edition.
Yep.
And then last week we did Wrath of Khan.
Uh-huh.
And then now we're talking about Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock.
Yes, The Search for Spock.
So, Al, let's talk about the opening. The first 4 minutes is just the end of Wrath of Khan.
Right. I was looking at an illegal copy and I was like, what? This is what it's going to be the whole time? And then it just zoomed in and I was like, that's interesting that they chose that to do a flashback.
Well, also,
and it's just this blue square that expands.
Yes. So, and I kind of like that. As much as I didn't like the fact that they just reused footage. Like we're still
up, right? It's been 2 years.
So unlike when we talk about the TV episodes, for the movie, we actually usually have the movie on. So we kind of have Search for Spock up on the monitor in the studio here while we're talking about it. And we're at minute 3 right now, and we haven't gotten any new footage.
Oh, no. They're all reusing it. And they also use the Genesis explosion stuff plenty of times.
Oh, and yes, they really got their money's worth out of that Commodore 64 Genesis graphics. So basically, Wrath of Khan ended with Spock mind melding with Bones and telling him to remember.
Yeah, remember.
And then Spock dies because of radiation. And speaking of Wrath of Khan, one thing I just wanted to mention really quick. Dude, first off, we're going to talk probably at length about how much better the first 2 movies are than this movie.
I don't know, actually, because this one was funnier than the first one.
Well, so you say funnier. Now, is that what they wanted to happen?
Right. No, of course not.
So does that make it a better movie, or does it just make it...
Depends on who's watching.
It makes it easier to get high and watch for your podcast homework, is what it sounds like.
No, it wasn't that.
No, it's pretty good. It's
funny
better
to
than...
talk about the cast switching, too, in this.
It's better than most other, like, sci-fi movies. Like, it's a good sci-fi drama... And there's some creative casting that we'll get to. But yeah, I did like how the opening is the end of Wrath of Khan with a little tiny screen, and then it gets bigger and bigger.
Right.
And then they make us watch Spock's fucking funeral again like I wasn't already sad.
They set the tone for that real quick.
One thing that I forgot to mention last week is that the budget for Wrath of Khan was $11.2 million.
Which was less than the first one.
Less than the first one, about half.
Right.
And then the total box office was just shy of $80 million, which is about what the first one made. Mm-hmm. Now, for Search for Spock, the box office, or the budget was $17 million. Okay. And it ended up making like $76.5 million worldwide. Whoa. And back in back in whenever this was.
That was 84.
84.
Yeah.
Oh, and I wanted to pull up the IMDb.
Wait. The Wrath of Khan was 82.
Yes. So there's 2 years in between, and we... Go ahead.
What's funny is that they do that classic 80s thing where it's like the next day.
Yes.
They do that a lot. I was like, oh, that's so funny. They all look 2 years older, but still.
And yeah, I in my notes I say, man, they sure all did change like their hairstyle and clothes and shit.
Genesis sucked all the youth out of them.
Genesis gave Nichelle Nichols that those curls. It just everything. It was such a weird. Like everybody looked 2 years older, but it was like Shatner looks 10 years older.
Yeah,
and it's been a week. And so basically his son that he just found out about a week ago 3 weeks ago or whatever, he is on the Genesis planet with this Vulcan Savak, and they are studying the Genesis planet, which is this planet that basically was created as a result of this scientific experiment at the end of Wrath of Khan.
And their relationship is really nice, but then what was really confusing to me, and I was watching with my girlfriend, I was like, wait, that's not Kirstie Alley. Is that I said it right?
No. Yeah, Kirstie Alley.
Kirstie Alley.
No.
I was like, wait, that's not Kirstie Alley. And then David shows up, and I'm like, hey, wait, that's not that guy from the other movie.
No.
They just switched both of them.
Did they?
Yeah.
Wait, so
Saavik was Kirstie Alley, right? Yeah, and we looked it up, and we're like, wow, they both switched. It's been 2 years.
They replaced Kirstie Alley with Robin Curtis. Oh, no, David Merritt, the guy who plays David is the same.
Really?
Yeah, it's Merritt.
He looks so different.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's him anyway. Let me see here.
Double check, because I was
I'm double checking here.
Oh, and Scotty, too. I like the uniforms in this, though.
Yeah, he was David in Wrath of Khan.
Ah, dang. Anyways, they look way different.
So,
that bugged me. I really liked her in that role.
I thought Kirstie Alley was good, and I didn't even think about that because I'm really fucking bad with names, especially when they got like weird Vulcan names with a lot of A's and
just
shit,
like Alien X,
and
the one that isn't Spock.
but it makes sense in hindsight.
Yeah,
and I believe. 84. I don't think that I'm pretty sure she wasn't on Cheers yet. So who knows? But so basically, this is kind of an interesting little. First, Kirk is fucking depressed, right, and the ship is all burned out. They're bringing it back to put it in space dock
for
repairs, they think, and Kirk basically just said to an ensign on the bridge, and ensign was like, "Do you think there'll be some kind of celebration?" And Kirk says, "What, you want a hero's?" What does he say here?
A hero's welcome.
Yeah, he's like, I say in my notes, Kirk is a hilarious bummer. A crewman is like, "Do you think they'll have a celebration for us when we get back?" And Kirk is like, "A hero's welcome? Is that what you want? Lord knows we should get it. We paid for this battle with our dearest blood." And I just want, and if I was that crewman, I would have just been like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, were you and Spock friends? I had no fucking idea. It's not the only thing anybody's talked about the last 3 weeks."
No, and they only shot off Spock, and gave him the bagpipes. What about the kid Scotty was holding,
Exactly.
The engineering crew that exploded in the first encounter with Khan.
Yeah, why they should have just been like, "Oh, and this is Spock's corpse, and the rest."
Pods just following,
and rest.
Do you know what a disaster that would have been? Search for the Enterprise crew.
Star Trek 3 search
a bunch of kids.
They all we'll get to that in a minute. But so this is a great. So first off, Leonard Nimoy directed this,
right?
And he would go on to direct such films as Three Men and a Little Baby.
Oh, okay.
And the rest. I don't know the other movies he's directed. Possibly Look Who's Talking. That sounds right. Kirstie Alley's in that.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so this hot Klingon lady is selling Genesis secrets to a nefarious Klingon crew. These are Klingons who obviously don't give a shit about the treaty that the Federation has with the Klingon Empire. And
yeah, it's Christopher Lloyd.
Motherfucking Christopher fucking Lloyd.
Dr. Emmett Brown.
Dr. Emmett Brown. And also, I was talking to my brother, and I was talking. So yeah, Christopher Lloyd, Doc Brown, is the Klingon villain in this.
Right? Krug.
Yeah.
Krug.
And he is, first off, he's hilarious. That's a Targ. There's the Targ puppet is funny and gross, and it cuts to it in really weird spots. What do you got?
But as soon as the ship shows up, I'm like, wait, did they steal that Romulan warbird? But it's technically a Klingon.
It's a Klingon bird of prey.
Bird of prey, okay. But it still has, it doesn't have the whole bird on the bottom.
It's different.
It just has the wing.
The Klingon bird of prey is different than a Romulan warbird.
Okay, I was just tripping because I was thinking about Bowser Dare.
It is trippy. I gotta say.
And then what's even crazier too is who comes up next in. Well, this is later in the movie, but when they go and park the Enterprise and they're all partying at the Kirk's bachelor pad.
Yeah, where they're basically mourning Spock again.
Right? Again. But then his Spock's dad shows up, and it's the actor who is the Romulan.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, I told you. He plays Sarek.
You told me that too, yeah. And I was like, what? That's so funny.
Fucking rips.
Yeah, it was
he's
a great
great.
Episode.
He is fucking legendary Star Trek guy, dude.
For sure.
I absolutely... I love it. He turns. I mean, he's in. I'm pretty sure he's in Next Generation. He's in like all the shit. Fucking love it. Oh,
but I was thinking, wouldn't it be funny if he was a villain? But anywho,
one thing I want to mention is it feels like some of the special effects sequences in this look
souped up.
Like, some of them look really good. But then some of the shots look really bad. Like I don't know. Like the opening.
Yeah.
Seemed like it was like a bad transfer of Wrath of Khan. Like, I don't know if that was intentional to make it look like Memories or whatever to make this stand out. But it really feels like the special effects stand out as looking so much better than just the traditional cinematography. And like, it just doesn't look as cinematic to me as Wrath of Khan did.
I think that's what's missing. Yeah, exactly. And that's why people don't like this one as much.
Why is the Enterprise so
strange?
Why is the Enterprise so fucking blue all the time? It's just so blue.
The reason why it's blue is because when they're doing the special effects in ILM Studios, they use a blue screen instead of a straight black screen. So that's why you see those blue reflections on the models. And some people had to repaint the Enterprise and sit there for hours to make sure it wasn't that blue.
Wow.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, but...
Well, I love the designs of the ships.
Pretty, though.
And I just feel like I lose it when it shows the people. It just doesn't look as good.
They don't get the scale quite as down. Because the first one, they nail the scale with the people on their little ships flying around in the dock. When they're parking it, they nailed the scale down.
It is different in this. And also, it looks like Doohan, the guy who plays Scotty, has aged 1,000 years since Wrath of Khan. That guy must have did some fucking hard living. We don't get into biographical information or anything on here, but if we did, I'm sure we would find a lot of adventures.
The rewards from Khan.
James Doohan. Yeah, the success.
Yes.
So there's a shot of the damaged Enterprise being flown in. And there's Ensign Rand, or not Ensign Rand, used to be Yeoman Rand, now probably Commander Rand.
Oh, and more themes come up of, the Enterprise being too old, and now they have the new ship Excelsior with the transwarp drive.
And also, it can be automated a little bit. So Scotty hates that. So they're making this new ship. We find out very soon in the movie here that they are going to... decommission the Enterprise. We'll cover the bone stuff in a second. Okay. I just want to say, so what they're going to find out is they're going to decommission. It's really fucking hot in the studio, so I want to kind of jump through some of this.
You're good.
They're going to find out that the Enterprise is being decommissioned. They're promoting a new Excelsior class starship, and Kirk is like, "What the fuck? The Enterprise can be decommissioned." And also, David and Savik are with a science vessel at the Genesis planet studying shit, and Christopher Lloyd, the Klingon guy, wants to get the Genesis stuff to use it as a weapon. But more importantly, Bones has Spock's fucking Katra in his head, And we find that
That's
out.
hilarious.
So yeah, Kirk.
They park in.
They find out.
Chekhov.
Well, they find out that that Spock's quarters have been opened, and there's somebody in there.
Chekhov's like, I am sensing an energy reading from Spock's room.
It's a life sign.
And Kirk's like, I shut that door a long time ago.
I shut that fucking door.
I swear to God.
And so he gets down there, and he finds Bones sitting in the shadows. And
That part's creepy.
Bones says some really creepy shit here. This is important because it all thematically, this fucking movie is not subtle with the recurring themes and whatnot. Because Bones says, he said, "You left me on Genesis. Why did you do that? You need to take me to Mount Selenia. You have to help me." And then he pulls him out of the shadows, and it's Bones.
His eyes are wide open.
His eyes are wide open. He's fucking crazy. Kirk is just like, "Oh my God, we find out that they're gonna have Bones committed basically to a Starfleet mental institution, as they call it, or maybe he says something like Starfleet Nut House or something like that. And he wants to go back to Genesis to collect Spock's body that just landed on the planet.
Whoops.
Why did they shoot it at the fucking planet?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
A lot of decisions.
And the reason they can't go to Genesis is because it's like a planet that's been created and it causes all this weird political shit. Yeah,
it makes I think this is nice though. It makes it feel bigger. It makes it feel like the shit Kirk does has consequences
outside of
himself, and he can't just do and fly away, right?
Dude,
that's what makes it good.
Dynamite observation,
right? And then the Klingons getting involved in all that shit, and then reusing the Genesis footage. It's just
so they're watching the Genesis footage that from the Klingons are watching the Genesis footage. It's a destructive power to control and dominate. And fucking Krug. What here? Hold on, here it is. I got it right here. What am I doing? His name,
Dr. Emmett Brown.
Dr. Emmett Brown. Oh my God, he's very low build on the.
He does a great job though.
What? I have to go to all cast and crew. That's
do.
fucking ridiculous. Christopher Lloyd Krug. Yeah, you were correct.
Krug.
So he's got a lot of great scenes. He's really fucking funny. He's a badass.
Almost saved this movie for me.
He's a dick. And what he wants to do, so he wants to cause a war between the Klingons and the Federation. And he thinks the Klingons are shitty for not doing war, basically. Your typical Klingon rogue bullshit. Yeah. He's an aggressive Klingon guy. He wants war. The end.
And he's like, "Oh, cool, Genesis. It's an ultimate power. It looks like a missile. Let's use it."
Exactly. We know missiles. And then we get a little bit of Genesis planet study stuff in the ship. Savik and David and this.
That's the same
captain
David?
guy. It is the same David.
He looks
yes.
So different.
And they've got a captain guy. The captain in this.
So fucking
it
dumb.
looks like he fucking walked off the set of like a pilot for a sitcom and into this captain's chair.
He's such a stand-in. Just
he is
random captain.
Might be Paul. I'm trying to see Paul Sorensen maybe, or Philip R. Allen as Captain Esteban.
Same thing's happening though on Genesis. They're like, oh wait, we see. Oh, excuse me. Same thing happening on Genesis though. We see. There's a life form, and they're like, we gotta check it out.
And it's weird because it's right. They don't put together that it's right by Spock's pod.
Yeah, they don't think about that either.
It's fucking idiots. Yeah. And then we get to Kirk's party at his house. We get to Kirk's party at his house where Sarek shows up. And he's talking about how
I'm just like, oh shit, Balance of Terror. I kept thinking about Balance of Terror.
Kirk, it's him.
I know, right?
Kirk, that's him. There. Get him. It's right there. He's your submarine. It's your submarine combat buddy. And so basically, Sarek is like, you must have had Spock's Katra. You were there when he died.
He's like,
and then they mind meld, and he finds out he doesn't have the Katra, and he's like, was there anybody else with him? And of course, they go watch a video. I always think it's funny in movies.
Oh, I love it.
When they go to watch like security video and it's just footage from the previous movie. Yeah. Like, so you're telling me in the Enterprise, there's all these different angles and it cuts.
There's like drones flying around constantly.
This shot of Shatner looks fucking great though.
Well, when he's looking
28 minutes when he's watching this screen, like the HD, like whatever they did. I don't know if this got the same like massive remastering treatment that everything else did, but that shot of Kirk looks fucking great. And then he sees Spock do the mind meld and say, "Remember," to Bones.
He did the enhance, repeat, and augment.
Yeah, what does fucking augment mean
like,
in that?
Just to make it bigger, I guess, right?
But I wouldn't think
size.
that. Like, yeah, like you'd have to
That's
say
very
bigger.
specific,
Like,
yeah.
augment is too broad.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
You don't know what we're talking about, podcast listeners, but Kirk just asked the computer he basically said enlarge, but instead of enlarge, he said augment. And
anyways, he's looking at the footage. He figures out that Spock gave the mind meld to Bones, and that's
now
why he's freaking out.
They got to get
presence
of course
forms, all that.
The only thing that they can do now is get Bones's body to mount, or Bones and find Spock's body. Wink, wink.
Yeah,
and get it to Mount Selenia at Vulcan and try and put Spock's eternal soul in whatever vessel. And Tribbles, I missed that the first time.
I was like, Tribbles.
So Bones is off his nut, and he's at the bar looking for a ship to go somewhere. He wants to go to Genesis.
Yeah. What happens though before this? I mean, it was a pretty pointless scene, but you see Kirk ask the ambassador, like, "Hey, can we definitely Admiral, excuse me. Hey, can we still take the Enterprise out to Genesis?" He says no, and he comes back to Zulu and Chekhov, and they're like, "Are we gonna go?" And he's like, "No, he said no, but we're still gonna go."
Oh, dude, that's a great line. So I fucked up by skipping over that little bit.
But I was just turned to my girlfriend. I was like, the whole scene was just pointless. But I love it. Hilarious. He was just like, he said no, but we're still gonna go. And
yeah, he goes. He said no,
we'll go.
but we're gonna go anyway. And so then they're gonna. So basically, a motley crew of Enterprise people are gonna try and get Bones to the Genesis planet and get Spock.
And you see Bones negotiating too, though, in the next scene in a bar, and then you see the Tribbles, right? And you see this guy with like fish, like
is that James
makeup.
Hong? Is that James Hong? Hold on here. It looks like.
But it reminded me of the cantina scene in Star Trek 4. New Hope.
Star
Wars. Excuse me.
Oh,
God,
dude, people are not going to listen to us now. Whoa, I just realized that Frank Welker, by realized I mean saw it on IMDb. Frank Welker, the guy who plays Fred on Scooby-Doo and who plays Nibbler on Futurama and who also does like every animal voice you've ever heard in cartoons. He played Spock's Scream in this movie. And later we get Miguel Ferreira. There's a bunch of great people, but Kirk says we're going anyway. We're going anyway, and they've got to steal a ship. But there's this hilarious Bones being all like crazy with Spock memories, trying to negotiate a ship to get to Genesis.
Oh, it's
hilarious. And a Starfleet special agent comes up to him and is like, "Hey, you probably shouldn't be talking like that." And then they arrest him, basically, and then we see Savik and David on the Genesis planet. It's snowing in one area and a desert in another area. And it's like, yeah, there's probably life, but it's kind of fucked up and weird. And then we get Ocean's 11 with the Enterprise crew. Because
that's true.
Yeah, because they have to break Bones out of the booby hatch. Mm-hmm. And to do that, they send Kirk in, and he's gonna give Bones a shot that'll like keep his wits about him because he's suffering from a Vulcan mind meld.
And he comes
that green-blooded son of a bitch.
Yeah, there's a lot of good lines in this.
Bones is great. So he says, so this is great. Kirk tells Bones, "You're suffering from a Vulcan mind meld, Doctor." And Bones says, "That green-blooded son of a bitch." And his follow-up line is fucking hilarious. He says, "It must have been his way to get back at me for all the arguments he lost."
No, and right before that too, Kirk comes up and he says, "How many fingers am I holding up, Bones?" And he does the Vulcan hand.
Oh yeah, and he says it's not funny.
Yeah, Bones he's like, "That's not funny, dude."
And so
see, that's what I'm talking about with the humor. It's definitely pretty on point.
It's a different kind of there isn't as big a stakes as there was in the first one,
right?
And it feels like they try to make the stakes by having the Klingons doing shit, but that Klingon stuff gets pretty easily resolved a half hour before the movie's over,
for sure.
So the real it really is the search for Spock, because that is the thing, and it's sort
the
of
main goal,
and that's why, and we can talk about this later. it really feels like a 2-part episode of the show. Like it really, like where there would be the to be continued 45 minutes in.
Yeah.
And they actually said that in the compendium. They were talking about how it really felt like kind of a 2-parter.
Like the menagerie.
And like the first 2 episodes of Next Generation,
right,
where Picard's on trial for humankind. It takes Kirk too long to me to figure out, holy shit, Bones has the Katra in his head. Yeah, like it takes them all way too long to figure shit out.
Seriously.
And then
that'd be my biggest criticism. I mean, I don't know. It's the pacing too with this one. That's why it feels like 2 episodes, right?
It's not, the pacing is not great. Right. And I don't know if it's like if Leonard Nimoy was like not a seasoned director yet or what.
He had a lot of script to work with too.
It's just a different kind of Star Trek movie. And then we have to get the Enterprise crew works together.
There's so many good lines.
Nichelle Nichols is fucking awesome in this scene where she basically makes an ensign her bitch and like has him get in the closet so that she can beam. She's got to beam the Enterprise crew to the Enterprise. Now, the whole time, I thought they were stealing the Excelsior.
I know, right?
And they do that on purpose because they show Scotty go to the Excelsior, and we find out why in a little bit. But so then
everything's very last minute, and then they just nail it with the beats for beats. Oh, and I also read too, and I'm sure they mentioned it in the movie, obviously, but there's only 4 or 5 of them, and somehow Scotty configures the Enterprise so it's like running on autopilot.
It's automated
rather than the crew, right?
There's automation so that they can run with a skeleton crew.
Right, that's what he's saying.
But they're not going to be able to do combat, they say. So they got to try and
that's true.
Got to try and stay out of combat. Mm-hmm. And so they go to and of course the admiral is in charge of space dock is like, "What are you fucking doing?" And they don't reply. They just leave.
We're going to keep going.
And and then he disabled the Excelsior. Scotty did. He took like 5 little AA battery-sized things out of the transwarp drive, and he's like, "This is why this new technology is bad. You can disable it by taking these 5 little things out." And so then we get to the Genesis planet, and
he also hacks the garage doors too.
Yes, there's a great scene where they almost don't make it out of the space dock, and then they do.
Kirk's like, "Scotty, the doors," and he's like, "I'm almost on it. I'm almost on it."
So before all this, on Genesis planet, David and Saavik find Spock's pod, or the torpedo tube they shot his dead, rotting corpse out of the Enterprise with, right? And it's covered in these micro, like, they're basically like single cell organisms that have evolved and gotten bigger.
I think they said that it was like dead cells.
It was just on the pod.
Shell on the pod.
Yeah. Well, we find out later that fucking David was doing some shenanigans with the science. And like David from Prometheus. And dude, his name is fucking David, and it's like a biblical thing. Anyway. So they find Spock's pod. It's got these weird life forms on it, and also Spock's body is gone.
But they have his robe.
They have his burial robe, and then in the snow they find a Vulcan adolescent kid who's clearly a Spock kid.
11-year-old kid.
Yeah, he's clearly a young Spock, and then the Klingons. The Klingons destroy the ship that's the science vessel that's at Genesis.
And as that's happening, they're asking them to get a ride back up.
Oh yeah,
the Klingons destroy the space vessel.
Saavik and David are trying to get off the planet, and then they blow up the ship, and then Christopher Lloyd is like, "We wanted prisoners, you fucking idiot," to the guy who shot the ship. And he goes, "It was a lucky shot, I'm sorry." And then he kills him. Krug kills him. Fucking dipshits.
Yeah, it looks pretty badass, though, to see Christopher Lloyd with a gun like that.
And Christopher Lloyd is also, not only is he a Klingon, but he's like a scuzzy Klingon. He's definitely like they're
brutish.
Yeah, he's definitely got some Gowron in him. Mm-hmm. And so young Spock is bonding with David and Saavik. The Enterprise crew and Bones are
Wait, is it Saavik or Saavik?
Saavik, I think. Saavik.
Okay.
I'm sure she would correct me.
Saavik.
It seems like 2 A's would be but I don't know. And of course, the motherfucking Klingons then go down to Genesis.
Right.
And they want to capture David and little Spock and old Saavik. And David and Spock and Saavik know there are people coming. They try to do their best to defend their area, but they get captured. And also we got to talk about this.
They have all these weird intimate scenes with like their fingers.
Oh, you mean when she has sex with young Spock? So
is that what that is?
Yes. So they're fucking right now on the screen, and it's making me uncomfortable. So Vulcans have a thing called Pon farr, and they go through Pon farr at a okay.
But he's going in. Oh yeah, go ahead from the top.
Spock's body, the new Spock.
Right.
Is aging rapidly as the planet evolves. So the planet is leaping forward in planetary evolution at like random intervals, right? So Spock will age like several years in a minute, and then he's that age for a while, and then he'll age some more, right?
Right.
Well, it's so funny because I didn't really remember this movie all that well from when I was a kid. But when I knew that Spock was aging, I was like, oh shit, he's gonna go through Pon farr. And then the next second Saavik is like, oh, he's gonna get Pon farr and his blood's gonna be on fire and shit, because it's like Vulcans like have to fuck like at that certain age or they go crazy. And so she's I don't know if that's like
funny. Yeah,
Vulcan.
Like,
so then they do
like
some they do Vulcan hand stuff.
Like puberty.
She basically gives him an HJ so that he'll calm down his Pon farriness. And then Kirk and the Enterprise, they think that they're communicating. They think that the science vessel is still there. I missed this.
They keep
in fact,
calling it.
I feel like I think maybe the Klingons, I missed something, like the Klingons are like fucking spoofing the signal or something.
No, I mean, Saavik has it on her
little
radio thing too. And so then they're calling for the ship, but they're not responding. Grissom, that's what the ship's called.
The Grissom. So the Enterprise can't find the science vessel, obviously, because the Klingons blew it to hell.
And then the Klingons
captured David and Saavik and young teenage Spock. Mm-hmm. And they're talking about dude, Christopher Lloyd's eyes are so great. You will tell me that. Give me Genesis.
No, and also just the way there's no music. Like it's all just like dead silent of like how he just gets, this upcoming scene of how he just gets murdered.
Yeah.
So and like now they hear that the Federation ship's coming in.
Yes. And when does he kill Kirk's son? Here we go. Like 5 minutes here. Mm-hmm. So basically, the Federation ship shows up. The Enterprise shows up, and they have a scuffle with the Klingons. And both of the ships are like semi-disabled. And basically, Kirk figures out, look, they've got to decloak to fire, and as soon as they decloak, we're gonna shoot them.
Right.
And that's what they do, and that's like the opening salvo of like the attack. And then the Enterprise gets them. The Targ dies in the shot. And then
the way they figure out where they are though is because of the distortion in space.
Yes, that's how they find the cloaking. Right, yes. And Kirk, because there's a lot of energy, and he's like, enough energy to hide a ship. See, he fucking gets it right away. True. Kirk's a good captain.
Well, he's faced it before, right, with the Romulan Warbird.
Yes.
But also, I'm sure in the next 2 seasons we're gonna see some crazy shit happen.
Shit, we should have mentioned. So they blew. So the Klingons then return fire, and they they accidentally blow out the automation computers that the Enterprise is using.
Oh wow!
And so now the Enterprise is dead in the water, but the Klingons don't know that. And then they talk to each other, and then the Genesis Commander himself. Arr!
Yeah, it feels very Saturday morning cartoonish.
Yes, and so basically and then this is where they decide that they're going to kill one of the hostages to prove to Kirk that they're serious. And then his son David tries to fight back, ends up
David does the
getting
noble
got.
thing, yeah, and then he just dies. And I was like, oh wow,
And we never really see his body again.
Nope.
He's dead.
That's it.
That was a character they introduced in the last movie. Kirk has known he's had a son for 3 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
And now the kid's murdered.
he's dead.
And it really fucks with... Shatner does some good acting here.
He does do good
He
acting.
tries to sit down in the chair and then he sits on the floor instead. That's some depressing shit. You killed my son, you Klingon bastards. And so basically...
he tries to do another con, you know.
Yes, they're
That's
trying
what
to
I feel like.
recapture the
Yeah.
magic.
He's like, you Klingon bastard, you killed my son.
So they're trying to they've got to figure out how to get one over on this Klingon crew. And how they do it is they tell...
They do a very Star Trek thing.
Exactly. They set the Enterprise to self-destruct, which happens all the time.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at this point when they set the Enterprise to self-destruct, it should just sigh. Like, again. So they set the Enterprise to self-destruct. They tell they tell Krug to bring a boarding party over, and then they swap. So Kirk and his people beam down to Genesis,
Right.
And then the Klingon boarding party of like 4 or 5 Klingons beams aboard, and then they get fucking blown to hell.
No, it's such a funny sequence though because, well, first the last
here it
sequence
is.
code is 000,
000.
and I was like, oh, that'd be pretty easy to remember in an emergency situation.
000
And
destruct.
then also, you paused it right there. But as the Klingons get on, the Christopher Lloyd character is like, wait, so what's going on?
He's
like,
on
what's
the
going
bridge.
ship?
He's on the bridge of the Klingon
ship. Yeah.
And he's talking to his Klingon boarding party.
Right. And he's like, what's happening? What's going on? And he's like, well, we can hear like the computer talking. And he's like, the computer's talking. Let me hear it.
Let me hear it.
And it's like 10, 9, 8.
Get out of there!
Get out of there!
And then he says, get out of there! And they explode, and the Enterprise is exploded. Oh, there he is! Get out of there! One thing about Christopher Lloyd, I got into I was talking to my brother about this, and I called him Doc Brown, and my brother was like, well, he's Reverend Jim from Taxi before he was Doc Brown. And I was like, well, I guess it depends on who you saw him as first, but... Okie doke. Reverend Jim was really fucking funny too, and it's awesome that he was in this movie. So now he's got to go down to the Genesis planet. The Enterprise crew is standing on a mountain on Genesis planet, watching the Enterprise burn up in the atmosphere, and he goes, "My God, Bones, what have I done?" And then Bones says this great line: "What you had to do, what you always do." Turn death into a fighting chance to live. Yeah, Bones fucking rips, dude. He's so
that
great.
A really good line.
And there's a really good scene with him later during all of the Spock shit. But this is so we watch Spock get older by a few years at once, and it's really weird. His face gets all pulsy and weird. I'm not into it. And then of course Kirk finds them. They fight. They zap the Klingon that's holding them hostage. He's rapidly aging. All genetic functions are highly accelerated. What about his mind? His mind's a void.
And meanwhile, the Genesis planet is just like melting in on itself because, David covered it right before he died.
Yes.
But Savick was like, what did you do? And he goes, I used this...
proto-molecule.
He used a proto-molecule that was controversial in a lot of scientific research.
So here's the thing. The Genesis Project, the entire backbone of Wrath of Khan, what was going to be the Federation's chance to create habitable environments fucking anywhere. This guy just faked the science.
Right.
So he like dumped a little, like he did all the science and then he sprinkled a little crack on it.
Yeah, like a little extra
and it's proto-molecule, which is funny because proto-molecule is also what the evil molecule in The Expanse is called.
Oh, really?
So he put proto-molecule in it, which invalidates all of the research. And Savick is kind of, she's not pissed because she's a Vulcan and she can't get mad, but she's definitely like, I have been working on this bullshit and it was bullshit.
Rough. Yeah.
And I hope you don't get killed by the Klingons in a little while, but if you did, I would get it.
No, and she also goes, you cheated like your father. And he's like, yeah.
Oh, like the Kobayashi Maru.
I was like,
because she kept asking, in the last movie, she kept asking Kirk how he beat the Kobayashi Maru. That's right.
It was hilarious. I cracked up.
But yeah,
there's a lot of funny beats that aren't meant to be funny, but once you watch them in succession, it's just...
I don't. So we got to talk about the scene with Kirk and Krug. They like fight and such, and it's not a good fight. It looks like, and Kirk does a flip at one point. Remember that? Yeah. There it is. We just got to it. So Kirk does the thing where like he kicks and the guy catches his kick, and then he flips over backwards to keep fighting. And I'm sorry, but that man is 52 years old or whatever. I don't think he was doing any flips. Thank goodness Klingons have balls in the regular plays. He got kneed in the groin.
Jeez.
So Kirk and Krug fight, and Krug ends up like he's gonna fall off a cliff. Kirk offers to save him. Of course, Krug, the Klingon bastard that killed his son, tries to throw a knife at him and then gets killed. And then Kirk gets beamed up aboard the bird of prey, or the Klingon. Bird of prey, yes. The warbird is the Romulans, yeah. And now look, it's Leonard Nimoy.
Yep, and this is an hour and 26 minutes into the film.
And this is the first time we've seen old Spock's face.
They found him.
You stuck this damn thing in my head, remember? He's like, Bones fucking rules, dude.
Tell me what to do with it.
Couldn't have thought of a better guy to have this happen to. So they take this Klingon bird of prey.
They go to Vulcan.
To Mount Selenia, where they're going to do an experimental ancient ceremony. So normally what they would do, I think, is they would pass his Katra to a family member. And it goes into like this shared history of your family, right? But because they have this body, they're going to try putting it in the body instead.
And this is controversial because, again, it is a dangerous procedure, and it's called a Faltorpan. I found in the book here.
Faltorpan.
And it's for Spock's Contra. You're right.
It's Katra. Yeah.
This is so bizarre, though. But, I mean, yeah, I guess it is a little awkward because it is a Genesis body. You don't know what it is. You don't know what's put into it.
Well, yeah. And so he's like a proto-molecule body? Like, what the hell, dude?
And then he stays as a proto-molecule body for the next movie.
For all the future movies. Yeah, for the yeah.
Well, yeah.
So and the ceremony is pretty cool.
Yeah, it does look cool. I like this shot right here.
There's so many, like, Vulcan is so red, and yeah, it's very like clay. It's hot.
It's like Mustafar and Mars.
Exactly. Yes, Marstafar Vulcan, and so he wants to do the refusion, they call it.
Oh.
And the priest is like, you seek what has not been done since decades past, and then only in legend. And then basically McCoy has to consent. And McCoy says, I choose the danger. And this is one of my fucking lines that I pulled out that I wanted to mention. So this Vulcan high priestess is talking about all of the possibilities. He's like, she goes, you could die if we try to do this. McCoy, son of David, since thou art human, we cannot expect thee to understand fully what Sarek has requested. Spock's body lives. With your approval, we shall use all our powers to return his body that which you possess.
Weird.
Right? But McCoy, you must now be warned. The danger to thyself is as grave as the danger to Spock. And she asks him, what do you want to do? And he says, I choose the danger. And McCoy is the absolute shit, dude. He is like always the best, like most level-headed, regular guy. Sometimes to a disadvantage. I think he can be dopey sometimes, but like...
Well, yeah, I mean, he jokes about not wanting to get through a, what is it called? A transporter, but now he's like, I accept the danger. Obviously, when it's serious, he knows.
Exactly.
And it's his friend.
Oh, I choose the danger. And he's doing like some real-ass acting in these scenes, too. Like, you can really see on DeForest Kelly's face that he's like struggling with this shit he has to do for Spock. Because, he's always had a contentious relationship with Spock. But he's willing they're best friends. Yeah. They're like him and Kirk and Spock are the trio. Like everybody else is kind of secondary characters. And then they do this prayer, this beautiful prayer. All the Vulcans in the room are praying. and then they strike a fucking gong, and then everybody goes out into the lobby. And then Bones comes out and says, "I'm all right." And then we have this great scene where Spock comes out and he just had his mind refused. And and Sarek just told Kirk it could be a long time before he remembers anything or knows what the fuck is going on. And they have a really great conversation because Spock takes his robe, his hood off, and he's like, "I know you."
You seem familiar.
Yes, let's get some of this dialogue. And then he recognizes them. He looks at everybody, and then he gets to Kirk. "My father says that you have been my friend. Back for me." Ah, dude, it's so fucking great.
You would have done the same for me. No.
And Spock is like, "Why would you do Spock?" Because it's not logical. It's so funny. So basically, Spock is like,
and he goes, "Because the needs of the one outweigh the needs of the many,"
which is the opposite of what they said in Wrath of Khan. And it's so funny because Spock is obviously struggling with this, trying to remember shit, you know? And then the second it seems like he remembers, everybody just lets loose and crowds around him and is like, "He's back, Spock." It's like, "Hey, watch out. He's fucking, his mind refused. I have been and ever shall be your friend." He remembers the line, "You saved the ship." Very dramatic stuff, gang. The ship out of danger. And it's like he's picking up right where he left off at the end of Wrath of Khan. I fucking love it. Like that's where his memories ended.
Yeah.
You know? And then this is the only scene Leonard Nimoy has in the movie pretty much. And he really does a good job.
That's
like
true. Yeah,
he acts, he's doing a good job. He remembers his name is Jim. Your name is Jim. And then once he remembers his name, everybody is like,
he says, we're on the Enterprise. We flew the Enterprise.
And then Bones points at his head, like, "Hey, you had your head in my head." Why I'm so bad at rewinding this to talk about it. This is fucking great podcasting right here. I just want to see this one fucking line of dialogue. I don't even think there isn't one. Oh my God. So anyway, there's a great knowing look between Bones and Spock where Bones is like, "You put your Katra in my head, you cheeky little fucker." And then it says, "And the adventure continues." And that's the end of Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. Now, what did you think?
It was way slower than 2, but I think it was funny when it obviously wasn't trying to be, but it was like humorous.
It did have good funny parts. Like there's a lot of good jokes.
There was a good joke where they're on the Enterprise, right? And they just escaped from, the Federation and all that. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to do a systems check. And then you hear somebody's voice go like, "Oh, we're in the middle now," or, "readings are perfect and everything's going well." And like, it sounds just like Spock, but they all turn around and it's Bones talking. Oh. And he's like, I don't know why I did that.
It's because he was in Spock's spot.
Right. It was hilarious. And just like little things like that. I wanted to see more of that.
I thought James Doohan had some really funny stuff about how much he hates the Excelsior and all the new technology.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And then how he's like, "Well, if I could take out these 5 bolts, that means anybody could." And they escape us so smoothly.
Oh, there's a beautiful scene where DeForest Kelly is talking to Spock's new body.
Oh yeah.
And he has a flash of insight and he says, "But it seems I've missed you and I don't know if I can stand to lose you again." Oh. It's just right. It's so fucking great.
Yeah, it's all really like sweet. And they also talk about how in the compendium here, they're talking about how both Star Trek 2 and 3 deal with like death and stuff, and how like things have to, you have to deal with death and just letting go of things. And then the first one having, and 2 having Spock die, and then 3 with the Enterprise and David dying. I think they're just trying to up the ante and how like serious this is. But for me, honestly, and obviously for you too, it's like we just saw David like 10 minutes ago, in terms of Star Trek.
Yeah,
time.
it's very strange that
And then he just dies, and it's like,
and,
dang.
And I bet they
And a whole
mention
ship
him.
of people die.
Yeah, that whole science vessel,
Right?
The Grissom
whole science vessel, the Grissom.
Peace out, the Grissom. Kirk. Oh, so
and they
Kirk,
still have to take care of Genesis. So that's what's going to be the next movie.
So no, I think that the next movie is they have to go back in time. So the next movie is called Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, and they're leaving on this bird of prey, and something happens, and they have to go back in time. So
like
it's a whole movie
deal.
it's a whole movie without the Enterprise.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
one thing that I want to talk about here. Kirk is talking about his soul. So he's saying, if I hadn't tried to save Spock, it would have been my soul. And it's like Kirk is justifying this loss. So like his soul is like the Katra, right? So it's all like these parallels between Kirk and Spock. And
it's just kind of like a yearning and an escaping kind of feel. Like literally Kirk is leaving on the Enterprise, escaping the Federation. And then in the second one, he's trying to leave his, duties as
an admiral.
An admiral to be a captain again.
Yes. And now, who knows what their fucking standing is? They don't even mention what the Federation thinks of all this shit.
No, they already left. They're just worried about Spock. And I think, okay, look, this is where the movie kind of just ifs it for me. Like, I just feel like they resolved the Spock thing so quickly that, like, they might have maybe added another plot in here and then just, like, resolved the Spock Vulcan shit maybe 30 minutes in.
Yeah, like then they would have something else for Spock to do once he's back, got his head back on. Yeah,
and it wouldn't be called Search for Spock though, right? Like, what would you title it?
Yeah, Star Trek 3, some other title. Like I don't.
And especially they just set it up with the pod, right?
Genesis. It just wasn't as great as the last two movies.
So, yeah, to me it was sluggish that they went back to the Federation and then they left again, but I guess they had to get repairs, right? So.
It's just, they should have just stayed out there. There's so many different ways to do the story. And like Kirk is, like, I love how depressed Kirk is at the beginning. All in all, like it's a decent Star Trek story. Like it's a good Star Trek story.
Yeah, but it's the movie. I think it's a length.
It doesn't hit harder than a good two-part DS9 though.
Right.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't hit harder than a good two-part Next Generation.
And Wrath of Khan like hits the beats well and it's paced well.
Like a movie.
Excited for what's gonna happen next.
Like the Klingon threat in this, the villains are like nothing. Like they're very ancillary, secondary. It's not actually the Klingon Empire trying to do it, so there's no larger
random guy.
There's no larger implications.
Exactly, yeah.
And so it just gets neatly tied up and is fine at the end.
For sure.
And so
you get more in the way, It's like, oh dang, they took David.
It literally feels like they're just an obstacle.
Exactly.
And Christopher Lloyd is a good villain character, and he does a good performance. But
they try to redo that Khan stuff, and it just isn't there.
Yeah, they don't have the same, like, he doesn't have the same tete-a-tete with Kirk or whatever that Khan did.
Well, they have the fan build up too, and like Space Seed building it up. I'm sure when the movie and the trailers came out, everyone was like, let's watch Space Seed, and like, oh, we got to watch Space Seed, or
I don't know how they wouldn't have. I mean, it was 82. Well, when Khan came out, there was Betamax, so people maybe had it on Betamax. Yeah.
Anywho,
I thought it was fine. It was fun to watch. It is when they're trying to be funny, it's funny. When they're trying to be tender, it's tender. Everybody's doing good acting. It just isn't like. It's just like the stakes are they're like, it just feels like there aren't a lot of stakes. Like, we get it. It's Spock. That's like the Spock body. Like, there's no mystery.
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
so obvious.
It just ends. That's what I'm saying. And it's like, as soon as Spock's talking and stuff, and he's like, "You're Kirk. We were friends." It's like, okay, so this whole movie
was just to get to where we were at the end of the last one.
Exactly.
So it really feels like they haven't done too much.
Ship.
And they're going to have that ship for an entire movie after this.
See, it's an interesting take, because then, yeah, you're right. Because they still couldn't even use their combat system anyway, so, like, why even go back and repair it?
Yeah, it's wild. Star Trek 4, which will be, I think, it's looking like that'll be
Genesis, right?
And it's looking like that should be the end of the bonus episodes, and then we'll figure out when we're going to kick off season 2 officially.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it soon.
But yeah, so we've got at least one more of these where we're going to talk about Star Trek 4, which is one of my favorites from when I was a kid. I fucking love that shit. Great Chekhov stuff.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
looking for nuclear vessels. That's like the big famous line from it. Fucking kicks ass. I do want to talk about, or do you have anything else you want to say about the movie?
Honestly, no. Just
Okay.
that was pretty much it. Yeah, it's a nice little bow.
I saw this animated feature that's based on a graphic novel called Nimona.
Oh, okay.
That's on Netflix, and it fucking kicks ass, dude. It's Chloe Grace Moritz does the voice of Nimona, who's like this shape-shifting punk rock chick, basically. And it takes place in like a walled-off techno King Arthur type thing. So it's like knights and horses and stuff, but also lasers and guns and shit like that. And Riz Ahmed plays the voice of the other lead, and it's just really good. It's an adventure about how you're seen by people, and it's got a lot of good themes, but the action is really fucking great, and it's on Netflix, and I don't know who the studio was that did it or anything about it, but the soundtrack is like a lot of like Riot Girl-esque like girl punk.
Okay.
And all the voice acting is great, and it's my wife Brittany actually had the book, and I remember seeing it on the shelf, and then I saw there was a movie called Nimona, and she recommended we watch it, and we did, and it was great. So check it out.
Cool. I'm not sure if I have any recommendations here for this week. I guess
Not a lot going on.
right. I mean, the 4th we had fireworks and stuff. It was pretty loud. I went outside for a couple, maybe like an hour or two, and then went back inside. But then let's see. I'm going through Death Note again. It's pretty good.
How long is Death Note?
I think it's like a group of 50 or 60 episodes.
Nothing.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it's pretty straight.
It's no JoJo.
No way. It's 20-minute episodes. And then what's the other one? Well, there's Sopranos, doing Death Note, and then the newest one though. I mean, I'm sure everybody's watching. There's the season 2, but what's it? Bear. It's another B word. The Bear.
That's that restaurant Chicago show.
It's good.
I'm sure it's good. I want to watch it.
It's
I
like,
love comedy. It seems like it'd be right up my alley, but right now I'm having a difficult time watching TV shows about people at work.
Yeah.
Like my wife has to like drill me to the couch for me to watch Abbott Elementary, and I fucking love that show, and it's really funny. But I just can't. People at their jobs. It's like I don't watch TV to have anything to do with jobs.
No,
like if The Office came out now, I definitely wouldn't fucking watch it.
Really, that's true.
Dude.
What's the other one? But yeah, The Bear. It just feels like it's like uncut gems. Because it's always like compiling stress and stuff on itself.
Oh, I would love that.
So yeah. I feel like you'd like the pacing. They do this weird mixing though at the beginning with these two songs. They like do a build up from a punk song, but then like the drop, I guess, would be like a theme or like horns or jazz or some shit. But you just see them chop a bunch of stuff and do a bunch of different roast beef dishes, and it's like really exciting. And like the whole plot is this guy is trying to deal with the stress. Because he wakes up in the middle of the night, like cooking frozen food and like almost kills himself like multiple times. Like he has sleep issues and like is stressed out about running this restaurant that's like kind of a hole in the wall and that it's really shitty. And then like he's trying to make it better, but then he has like flashbacks about like his French school and shit. I don't know, but I'm just getting into it. Hopefully it gets
I know a lot about it.
Really good.
Ashley Ray,
the cast is stacked. Yeah,
Ashley Ray, this person I follow on Twitter, tweeted about it a lot when it came out because she's a Chicago person,
You really want to go to Chicago.
Well, yeah, it's so funny because I know a little bit about that area of Chicago because I worked downtown whenever I was there, and in the North Loop, which is where the show takes place.
Oh, okay.
And it's not and so at any rate, yes, I want to watch The Bear. As soon as I can watch a stressful show about somebody's fucking job, that's going to be the first one I watch. And so I don't. So it'll either be next week or the week after. You'll get Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, and then as soon as it's a little bit cooler back here, we will kick off season 2. Do all the stuff in the bumper, and have a good one. We had fun talking to you about Star Trek 3: The Search for Spock.
Thank you, guys.
Bye. Thank you for listening to Trek in the Valley, which is hosted and produced by myself, Adam Ordal-Quinnell, and Al Hurt. If you like the podcast, please subscribe, rate, review it, do all the things that people do. If you want to find us on social media, that information is in the episode description on your favorite podcast app. If you want to send us an email, you can do that at trekinthevalley, all one word, @gmail.com. Thank you so much. Keep listening.